Hello, welcome and a happy new year. This is the news on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. My name is Justin Bemungi and my sign language interpreter is Josiah Abdullahi. First, let's look at the major stories. President Tinubu projects 2026, a more prosperous year for Nigeria and Nigerians. New Year celebrations, leaders around the world stress a need for global peace. Plus, crisis deepens in Yemen as southern separatists consolidate territorial control. The world has ushered in the first day of 2026 with spectacular events filled with hope that a new year will bring the fulfillment of their dreams. Now let's get the details on these celebrations from Musa Babaliu.
This is Lagos, Nigeria. Spectacular fireworks ushered in the new year of 2026. There was also a joyful performance to entertain Lagosians who were out to witness the first night of the year.
Looking through the whole year, the ups and downs, the traverse, the different obstacles that I weathered through the year, not by my power, but by God's strength. So that's what got to my mind, how I made it through the year.
In 2026, my hope for Nigeria as a country is to see more youth taking the stand against issues that are most relevant to them, but to also see Nigeria really diversify its tourism, its economy, and its sustainable development. We have so much potential. Our time is right now in Afrobeats, in Hollywood movies, in just being known in the global space. So we really need to just use this moment wisely.
My hope for Nigeria in 2026 is that we become a better, stable country, and that our government can do something about the economy just to make everybody's lives a little bit easier.
In the United Kingdom, counting down the hours and minutes to 2026, spectators braved sub-zero temperature as they waited for the annual fireworks display from the London Eye. Paris in France rings the new year with a fireworks display that brightens the sky of the capital. And here is Dubai, where the New Year's fireworks illuminated the sky above the world's tallest building. In Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, it was a display of art with more than 1,200 drones lighting up the night sky with a giant recreation of Christ, the Redeemer, among many images lightening up the night sky to bring in the new year. In the neighboring United States, it was a New Year party attended by President Donald Trump. Analysts are of the view that the New Year 2026 is full of political and economic activities, including sports. Musa Babaliu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, leaders around the world have stressed the need for global peace, global economic strength and stability. Again, Musa Babaliu reports that these were contained in messages ushering in the new year of 2026.
Most people describe 2025 as a difficult year full of wars, conflicts, economic problems and other challenges. As 2026 began, leaders around the world, like their citizens, hoped it will be better than 2025. In the Vatican City, Pope Leo XIV led the traditional New Year's Eve service at St. Peter's Basilica. He prayed for world peace and forgiveness. In the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Keir Starmer promised in his New Year's message to fight decline and division. He said 2026 would bring positive change that people could feel in their lives.
In 2026, the choices we've made will mean more people will begin to feel positive change in your bills, your communities, and your health service. But even more people will feel once again a sense of hope, a belief that things can and will get better. Feel that the promise of renewal can become a reality.
China's President Xi Jinping encouraged his people to work on high-quality growth and create a new chapter in China's progress. Russian President Vladimir Putin, in his yearly New Year's message, urged citizens to believe in Russia's final victory in Europe's deadliest war since World War II. In the neighboring Ukraine, President Vladimir Zelensky sounded hopeful. He said his country was just 10% away from a peace deal as the war with Russia approached its fourth year. French President Emmanuel Macron said in his New Year's message that 2026 can and must be a successful year. He wants to build a momentum and start the last project of his second term. Macron shared 3 wishes for the French people: unity, strength, and hope. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un shared a similar view, praised his country's strong alliance with Russia, which includes sending North Korean troops to help Moscow in the military operations in Ukraine. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And back home, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says Nigeria closed 2025 on a strong economic note, despite global headwinds. The president stated this in a New Year message expressing optimism that 2026 will be more prosperous for Nigeria, her citizens and all who call Nigeria home. Ibrahim Dan Hamidu reports.
President Bola Tinubu says the country recorded consistent quarterly GDP growth, with annual growth expected to exceed 4%. Trade surpluses were maintained, the exchange rate is stabilized further, and inflation declined steadily to below 15%, in line with government targets. He notes that Nigeria's stock market posted a 48.12% gain in 2025, outperforming many global peers, while foreign reserves stood at $45.4 billion by the end of December, providing a buffer against external shocks. On investor confidence, the president said foreign direct investment rose significantly in the third quarter of 2025, reaching $720 million, a development he attributed to sound economic management and reforms affirmed by global credit rating agencies. Turning to fiscal discipline, President Tinubu recalled the presentation of the 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly, stressing that tax and budgetary reforms are aimed at long-term stability. He says efforts are ongoing to harmonize taxes across all tiers of government to reduce multiple taxation and ease the burden on citizens and businesses, while creating sustainable revenue for infrastructure and social investment. On security, the president acknowledged persistent threats from terrorists and criminal groups. He disclosed that in collaboration with international partners, decisive actions were taken against terrorist targets in parts of the Northwest late in December, with sustained military operations continuing across the Northwest and Northeast. He adds that in 2026, security agencies will deepen cooperation with regional and global partners, while pushing for decentralized policing and regulated forest guards, anchored on accountability. On inclusive growth, President Tinubu announced accelerated implementation of the Renewed Hope Ward Development Program, targeting the empowerment of at least 10 million Nigerians across all wards of the Federation through agriculture, trade, mining, and local enterprise. He assures Nigerians that all ongoing infrastructure projects, including roads, power, rail, ports, healthcare, and education, will continue without interruption. The president urges Nigerians to remain united, patriotic, and committed to nation building, describing 2026 as a year of shared responsibility and renewed hope. He wishes Nigerians a peaceful, productive, and prosperous new year, while reaffirming his commitment to protecting lives, property, and the nation's territorial integrity.
And as the world ushers in the year 2026, leaders at all levels have been urged to intensify efforts to end banditry, kidnapping for ransom, and other forms of criminality in the interest of peace, unity, and sustainable national development. The Bishop of the Sokoto Diocese, Most Reverend Matthew Hassan Kuka, alongside the Chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Sokoto State Chapter, Reverend Kayode Moses, made the call in their New Year messages to Nigerians. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports.
The New Year is not merely another stage in life's journey, but a defining moment for deep reflection, resolution, and renewed commitment to peaceful coexistence among the global citizens. The Bishop of the Sokoto Diocese, Most Reverend Matthew Hassan Kuka, and the Chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Sokoto State Chapter, Reverend James Kayode Moses, in their separate New Year messages, congratulated Nigerians for witnessing the New Year and prayed for a prosperous, peaceful, and united 2026. They appealed to the leaders to act with the fear of God in the discharge of their constitutional responsibility, stressing that good governance, justice, and accountability are essential to the progress of Nigeria.
I call on the leadership to become more conscious and aware of the cries of the poor, but also to begin to more aggressively seek to end the problems that our country faces.
The slogan of this democratic leadership presently is that a renewed hope. And I pray that the hope that they want to renew will be renewed, and everybody will be hopeful and enjoy the benefits of democracy.
The citizens were urged to remain vigilant, embrace a culture of tolerance, and work collectively for the overall development of the country. The New Year celebrations in Sokoto State are generally peaceful. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
And Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has welcomed the first baby of the year for 2026. The baby girl, Zion Enekole, was delivered to the family of Christine Adokole on the dot of 12 midnight at the Federal Medical Center, Abuja. Sarah's correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
She was eager to make it into the world, so she pushed her way in on the dot of 12 midnight of January 1, 2026, weighing 3.42 kilograms at birth. Now she laid beautiful in her cradle bed, awaiting the arrival of Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, who came calling with other mothers to bid her welcome.
Is this your first? Oh, congratulations. God will please get out of your head now. Where's your husband? Yes, congratulations. Thank you. And the baby is just so cute.
She came bearing gift for the baby with prayers and motherly counsel for her parents. More than any material gift is a legal identity for the child, and the First Lady saw to that with the formal presentation of birth certificates to baby Zion. From Zion, the First Lady visited other newborn babies in the world, including a set of triplets delivered to the family of Oragu after 13 years of waiting.
See what the Lord has done. He has given you victory, and God will bless all of them. They brought you joy, and your joy will not be cut short again.
While admonishing women to embrace economic empowerment in order to be able to cater for their children, the First Lady notes that the new year is filled with promises.
And in Yoruba land, they will say when you have girls, they come with ease, with ease. So we believe that this year is going to be a great year. Amen. For us as a nation, peace in abundance, prosperity in abundance. I'm excited. And Nigerian women are very hardworking, and we all know that from our mothers. So we can only encourage them that this year, whatever they want to do, that they feel God has laid in their hearts, they should do it. Never feel that I don't have money to do business. Just go and do what you feel. Start small.
Little Zion is the first baby of her parents, who are now filled with joy by the visit of the mother of the nation.
Never thought of that before, so hearing that this morning is really also, I really feel also, and it's quite a privilege. So I'm really blessed by that.
There is no better way to start a new year as this. Having my first child on the first day of the year and as the first baby of the year, so it's fantastic. I feel really good and excited.
Meanwhile, wife of the Vice President, Nana Shitima, also welcomed baby Titus and other newborns delivered early on the first day of the year at the Buhari General Hospital in Abuja. Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
You're watching the news. The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, says 2026 is a golden global opportunity for Nigeria to showcase its rich cultural heritage and redefine the nation's reputation as it hosts the World Public Relations Forum this year in Abuja. In a statement signed by Director of Public Relations Stanley Ogadigo, President of the Institute, Dr. Ike Neliaku, is wishing Nigerians a prosperous new year and stated that a global gathering of 126 countries with presidents, ministers, leaders of public relations associations and top advisors to governments of various nations are expected to be in attendance is a big deal that the country can take advantage of to gain global relevance. The president informed that the Institute in the last 9 months upon winning the hosting right of the global event for the nation has been working with various stakeholders within and outside the country to deliver for Nigeria the greatest reputation project while calling on the federal government, leadership of subnationals, corporate organizations and all stakeholders to invest in the program. The NIPR boss stressed that WPRF represents a robust platform for Nigeria to tell its story of greatness and reverse the current growing negative perception. Now, the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Shehu Mohammed, has called on motorists across the country to prioritize safety, adhere to traffic laws and drive responsibly as Nigerians usher in the new year. In a statement signed by the Corps Public Education Officer Shegun Ogungbemide, the Corps Marshal stressed that the celebration of a new beginning must not be marred by avoidable road traffic crashes arising from speed violations, drunk driving, dangerous overtaking, and willful disregard for traffic regulations. He noted that experience has shown that the New Year period often comes with increased vehicular movement, fatigue-induced driving, and reckless road use, which collectively heighten crash risks, while urging drivers to ensure their vehicles are roadworthy, obey speed limits, avoid driving under influence of alcohol or drugs, and pay full attention to the road at all times. Now, crisis deepens in Yemen as southern separatists consolidate territorial control and renew calls for independence, raising fresh questions over regional stability. Adaobi Obiechina brings us details.
The STC's offences launched in early December has allowed it to seize large portions of territory once belonging to former southern Yemen, a state that existed from 1967 until unification in 1990. STC spokesman Awa Al-Timimi says recent victories have strengthened the psychological and emotional resolve of southerners to restore statehood. Saudi Arabia, which backs Yemen's internationally recognized government, has demanded the STC's withdrawal from captured zones, even deploying air power against their positions. Diplomatic tensions escalated after a Saudi-led coalition intercepted what is described as UAE's arms shipment at an STC-controlled port, triggering the 24-hour ultimatum for Abu Dhabi to pull its forces from Yemen. The UAE has agreed to comply, making a rare public rupture between the Gulf allies. Analysts warn that the separatist gains have embarrassed Yemen and complicated mediation efforts, even as heavy fighting persists in multiple regions, including the south. With trust eroding between coalition partners and independence rhetoric intensifying, Yemen head towards a new phase of uncertainty. The STC's territorial grip now surpasses that of a new single faction, setting the stage for a complex political battle ahead. Adobe Obiechina, NTA News.
Now, Switzerland ushered in 2026 in mourning after a powerful explosion triggered a fire at a crowded bar in a luxury ski resort, leaving dozens presumed dead and more than 100 injured, most critically. Again, Adobe Obiechina reports.
The blast struck during a New Year Eve's party, ripping through patrons gathered inside the bar before the flames spread rapidly. Authorities say the explosion appeared accidental, not a coordinated attack. Though investigation remains open, officials confirmed that emergency responders treated over 100 victims, many suffering severe burns and life-threatening injuries. Some casualties are believed to be foreign nationals, complicating identification efforts and consular coordination. The entire resort was sealed off as part of evidence preservation, with airspace restriction imposed overhead to allow rescue helicopters to operate without interference. Emergency services deployed 10 helicopters and at least 40 ambulances, ferrying survivors to hospitals across the country. Preliminary accounts from regional security officials suggested firework or celebratory firecrackers could have sparked the explosion, but no definite cause has been established. Forensic teams are working under immense pressure to identify victims and unite families with remains. As rescue shifts to recovery, the tragedy exposes gaps in crowd event safety control, regulation of pyrotechnics and emergency preparedness in tourist hotspots, reigniting calls for stricter enforcement and public accountability. Meanwhile, Russia has accused Ukraine of killing 24 civilians, including a child, in a drone strike on a hotel and a cafe, hosting a New Year celebrations in Russian-controlled southern Kherson settlements. Officials labeled the incident a terrorist attack, but independent verification remains silent. The regional administration said 3 Ukrainian drones deliberately targeted civilians, claiming some were burned alive. The foreign ministry called it a war crime, while senior politicians, including Medvedev and parliamentary leaders, vowed battlefield revenge, blaming Western backers for enabling Ukraine's action. Adobe Obiechina, NTA News.
And the chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, has congratulated the government and the people of the Republic of the Sudan as they celebrate the anniversary of their Independence Day. The African Union reaffirms its full readiness to work closely with all Sudanese stakeholders as well as regional and international partners, including IGAD, the United Nations and the League of Arab States, to support efforts toward a ceasefire, humanitarian access and a comprehensive political solution. In a statement, the AU remains committed to an African-led Sudanese-owned process that responds to the aspirations of the Sudanese people for peace, dignity and a stable future. As Sudan marks 70 years of independence, the African Union prays that let this moment serve not only as a reflection on the past, but as a renewed commitment to end the war and reclaim the promise of a peaceful and united Sudan. Now, Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has directed that all security formations across the state be placed on red alert to prevent further security breaches. The directive follows the recent attack on the Ipele Divisional Police Headquarters in Owo local government area of the state, as the state government moves swiftly to strengthen security and maintain public order. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Communication and Strategy, Alan Showore, residents of Ipele and other parts of the state are reassured of their safety, urging them to remain calm and continue their lawful activities without fear. Security agencies have also been tasked to intensify efforts to apprehend the perpetrators and ensure they are brought to justice. And this is where we end the news on NTA International. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Justin Bemui, and Josiah Abdullahi has been the sign language interpreter. We say bye for now and a Happy New Year.